Greetings, automotive enthusiasts. Today we have something for you really cool, something here from the 80s. It's really an 80s icon. This is kind of a unique car, and you may be wondering, why are you videoing a car that's not clean or washed, But there's more to this car than what meets the eye from what you're seeing right now. This is basically a one-owner 1988 Mustang LX 505 speed with 13,000 miles on it. Here we go. Check this out. So this is, you could call this a barn find or a garage find. It's kind of a little bit unique, as in it was actually, this gentleman had a really big carport. And so the car is covered, but yet, kind of still exposed to the dust and so on and so forth. I actually drove up to Nebraska and bought this car. The original owner bought this car in October of 1988. He's actually a Ford tech for like 35 years, and so kind of a special car with a special history. He bought the car in 88 with 5,700 miles on it. So he's basically the first owner. It shows him as the first owner, so I don't know if it was the dealership, if it was the owner's driver or what the story was, how it basically got 5,000 miles put on it as a new car before it was sold to the first owner. That story, I guess, nobody will ever know that story. But nonetheless, this is a really cool car. The 5-liter, this generation, this body style started in 87 and put out 225 horsepower and 300 foot-pounds of torque. And this car is just, the Fox body Mustang is an 80s icon. It's interesting actually that the 87 and 88 50 LX 5-speed was the fastest Fox body ever produced, aside from the Cobra, the 93 Cobra. So people really want the LX, the clean, the understated. The GT was kind of a shouty, love it or hate it kind of car. I love the GTs for what they are also, but there's something just clean and understated about a sweet 50 LX Mustang. And obviously the notchbacks were really popular with the drag racers. That was actually the fastest car, and this car was just behind it. But the notchback was lighter and stiffer, but that was pretty much for your drag racer crowd. Aesthetically and functionality, I really don't care for the notchbacks. They're neat in their own way, and there's a big following for them, but I definitely prefer the LX hatchback here. This car, so what we're doing here is we're bringing you this car, and I want to show it to you exactly how I got it from the original owner. It's an interesting story. He had the car, he drove it, but he just drove it very sparingly, It's interesting because the tags and insurance were current, and so it's not like a car that sat around for 10, even 20 years, and then you've got to do some crazy amount of work to resurrect this car. I went up with the truck and trailer and trailered it back, but literally I could have driven this car back. It fires right up, the AC is ice cold, everything works on the car. And so I want to document this car, because there's so many times people have a barn find or a garage find, and you don't really see. I always want to know, what did the car look like before it was detailed and prepped for sale? And that's what I want to see, and that's what people rarely share with you. Sometimes they're don't need much but a wash and vac, or sometimes they need major reconstructive surgery. But this one here, it does have some patina on it. I'll show you all the details and everything here, but it is an honest, no accident survivor car. So we're gonna kind of zoom in here, and so you'll see there's the swirls in the paint, and but this is the original paint, and I doubt that's really much has been done with it. So I'm really excited for the guys at Van Gogh to get a hold of this car and polish it out. So not only do you get to see the car as I got it, but you're gonna see what Van Gogh can do on a nice old original paint car like this. It was sitting face in, so everything is nice. There's no sun, there's no exposure to the front end of the car. One thing that's kind of interesting to note, and I kind of dig this, but you see the this little gold pinstriping here. The guy, he worked for the dealer, and in 1990 he added the gold pinstripes on the car. Looks pretty cool, honestly. And then here the gold in the bumper. So that was actually put on in 1990, and I think it looks kind of neat. It's definitely, I mean, he didn't leave this car bone stock. It's got I think it's got a muffler on it and a K&N air filter and an aftermarket radio. I have the original radio. I have the original radio, the original window sticker, the books, and everything on the car. But he was a typical Mustang enthusiast, and kind of did some minor customizations to meet his own taste. And I think it's kind of cool. I really think it works. That dark red color with that cold metallic is definitely 80s. Kind of show you the underneath here, and we'll get this car look underneath of it too and everything. It's a completely rust-free car. So there's your blue oval. So lights are in pristine condition. The paint is very nice. It's going to come out wonderful. Even the plastic, like the plastic fascias, they always fade at a different rate to the metal. What's interesting is usually the fascias are faded and the paint is light, but on this one here, the fascia still looks really, really good. So actually, and I'll kind of talk about this a little bit too, kind of exactly what is going on with this car. So like I said, he bought this car in '88, and so it had 5,700 miles on it. And one thing to note here, Carfax shows 0 accidents, but here's an interesting thing to note. So right here, when I came to look at the car, I saw here on this fender, and you can see some little bit of checking here, a little bit of cracking. So what's interesting is, so this panel was repainted in 1988, and I'm guessing that the front bumper was probably, so they probably had a little bit of a scrape right here, something. So in 1988, the front nose cap, I'm gonna say it was repainted. That's probably one of the reasons that the paint looks good on it, is because it basically has an extra layer of paint on it. And then I took pictures, and when we open the hood, I'll kind of show you with my light and everything. There's really no damage behind here. So this was a very superficial, so probably one of the lot boys or somebody got a little too rambunctious and bumped into something right here. So that is, other than the front bumper and this fender, this car appears to be pretty much all original paint. And I will do paint meter readings on it also to validate all of that for you. But so a story about this is, so when I walked up the car and walked around it, I have an eye for this, and I mean, I've been doing this for 30, 40 years. So I noticed this, but what's interesting is these flaws really, I don't think they came to the surface until just recently, because he hadn't driven the car, I think, he really hadn't driven it in the last couple of years much. He still kept it tagged in, insured and everything, but the original owner actually did not know, and I felt, because I mean, he described the car to me, before I went all the way up there, obviously, because I don't go chase very many cars that I haven't really seen, because so many of them, you got to make a judgment call if it's a complete waste of time or whatever. But just talking to the gentleman, such a genuine guy, such a nice guy, and so proud of this car. And when I pointed out that this fender had been repainted, and I pointed out that there was a little bit of probably a little bit of body filler, to smooth this out right here, I mean, I felt bad, because I mean, he was almost kind of gutted. He didn't even know that all of these years, you know, his baby had this little hickey on it or whatever. And honestly, I mean, he kind of was almost choked up a little bit. You know, I felt really bad to point it out to him. I wasn't trying to pick the car. I was just kind of pointing out exactly, you know, what it is that I was buying. And so it's an interesting story there. But so that fender, but what is it kind of nice here, and I'm not going to repair that. I'm not going to do anything, you know, because this stripe here, you know, I want to keep it all original. But so when we polish out the hood and bring the depth back, this is going to look really nice, and it's going to match up really well, and it'll be a lot less noticeable, but that's still, you know, there's really not much you can do about that. That's going to pretty much stay. One thing you could do, you know, is you could tape off the stripe, and you could, you know, paint below and above the stripe, because the problem is you really can't reproduce that cool gold stripe, and these are painted on. So you know, somebody with, you know, some good skill could take and kind of redo that, but that's going to be something that we'll leave to the next owner. The tires here, they're basically brand new, but they are from 2011 date code. So what's interesting is I drove this, I've actually put about 100 miles on this car roughly myself, and I expected it to ride terrible. I expected flat spots. I expected the tires to be dry, and when they get dry and hard, they get growly, and it felt like it was riding on new rubber. And so, you know, the tires, you know, you are going to want to change the tires. They are from 11. We may or may not change them, and I'm not sure. We'll kind of see, you know, how the recon goes on this. You know, because everybody kind of has a different tire choice preference, but I just want to show you what's on the car. Now, I wouldn't be afraid to get in and drive this car anywhere. There's not any signs of age on the tires, but they are from 11, so definitely old. So let's look at the wheels here. So we'll kind of get a bird's eye view of the wheel. And then I don't see, because I mean, Jesus is probably the second set of tires, maybe third set just from age, but yeah, nothing pretty much to note on the wheels. They are in pretty much immaculate shape. Even your emblems and your caps are super good. Coming along here, here's our 5.0 emblem. The sound of this car too is just phenomenal. I'll get we'll do kind of underneath the car later in the video to kind of give you a view underneath of the car. Just some cobwebs and some dust, and that's about it. So looking at the windshield here, and like I said, I mean, you know, I wanted to show the car to you as I got it. The windshield appears to be, you know, crack-free, chip-free. The cowl cover is in nice condition. Interesting, the wiper blades are even soft. So he continued to maintain the car even though he didn't drive it. He continued to maintain it. And this is some bug splatter there. We'll see how that all cleans up. Now looking at the door here, door is original. You can tell the difference right there. So, but see, when I polish it, you're not gonna be able to tell the difference. And that's why I'm showing you the car now. I just want to this is a special car, so I really wanna document its life and its history. And I've got a video with the actual owner when I got the car, and I'm going to do a separate video on its own of me chasing the car and recovering the car. It's kind of fun. People are always asking, you know, oh man, I would like to see, you know, how do you find these cars? Where do you find these cars? So I'm actually doing some documentation and some of that. I got to find somebody to do some editing for me because I'm not much of an editor. So we look forward to some of my car purchases. You'll actually get to see and ride along with some of the adventures that I go and collect these cars. Looking at the rockers here, the quarter panel, everything is perfect. The moldings are nice. Tiny bit of warping right here on this top molding. Not bad. A little bit of work. So you can see in a certain time of the day, the sun did get to the back of the car. The car was tucked pretty deep underneath of it, but probably the car was, so his house was on the east side. The car was underneath the carport. So it was exposed coming in from the west. So basically at sundown, the sun would touch the car just late in the afternoon and the evening as the sun went down, because it was tucked in there pretty good. So there was just a small bit of exposure on the back of the car. Rear wheels, pretty much flawless condition. Give you a picture of the tire tread here. Like I said, the tires are basically brand new. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, it's hard to say exactly. There's our exhaust pipe. I love the way the pipes come out on these 50 LXs. I really dig the gold pinstripe. I think it looks really, really cool. So here's the quarter panel. Looking back down, I do not see any door dings, any metal damage at all in this car. It is absolutely spectacular. Let's kind of look along the roof here a little bit. And like I said, I don't see any flaws or imperfections on the roof other than needing a good polish job, which is coming up next. But I don't see any dings, any dents, any hail, anything like that. So keep coming around the car here. Go ahead and show you the back window. A little bit of dust and a little bit of dirt settling in around there. There is one little bit of so I don't know what that was right here, but some kind of little touch up right there. It's smooth. It's just something must have got the paint and he touched it up right there. So we'll pop the trunk here and show you inside the goodies inside the trunk later. So here's the deck lid, here's the spoiler. Give you a nice shot around the spoiler. So looking across the top of the spoiler here, he may have had a car cover on it at some time, or I'm not sure, but there's a little bit of paint wear on top of that spoiler. You can see it's just at the back edge, so let me go ahead and follow that back top edge. So that's that. Other than that, the paint on the spoiler is nice. That's just some dust there. Look at the back side. So you can see back here, you can see how the gold pinstripe got a little checked from the elements. So you can see just the back bit here. So you can see here's the quarter, right? Which is not exposed to the sun, and as you come around a little bit, you can see how there's a little bit of effect of the environment. The good thing is, though, is the taillights look really nice. I mean, there is, like I said, a little bit of sun, but not like, but it is really nice. Not like it sat out here and really got baked. You can see in the pinstriping here, and again, you can see in the pinstriping here that we did lose some of the color. I think a person could actually go back in there with something really fine and actually lay that inset. It's the inset black, and it'd take a talented hand, but if you could get a tiny little brush, you could actually fill in the black on that. That actually would be a good thing to do. And then also too, that impact strips got some fading on the top there, could be touched up. Coming around the back side here, we'll continue on the bumper. So it's just kind of more of the same there. There's your gold lettering on the Mustang, and then your pinstriping, and just a little bit of black checking in there. And then here is the right taillight. No flaws on the taillight, and they don't look faded or dull either. Here's where our tag goes. Third brake light looks clean. Forward emblem is clean. So keep going on around here. All right, looking at the right quarter panel. There's our exhaust and a quarter panel. Like I said, still a little bit of dirt on here. Looking down the side of the car, no dents, no dings, no damage on the car. Check out the rear wheel here. So again, looking at the molding here, looks pretty good. But you can see still a little bit of, so there's probably some sort of trim color or something that you could maybe touch that up with. We'll see what Van Gogh can do with that. But like I said, I'm being picky here. But that's what the people are going to want to know on this car. They're going to want all the picky details. And I am all for it. Definitely want to represent the car accurately. Again, the rear wheels, pretty much pristine condition there. All right, so looking down the side here, you can see no door dings on the car, no waves, no damage, no issues. And this here just needs cleaned up a little bit, the little moldings there. I'll go ahead and show you the roof from this angle so you get the roof at all angles. And it is nice. All right, no issues. No damage on the door. Alright. Fender is nice. There's our 5.0 call out. And everything is nice on the right fender. And here is the right front wheel. Again, pretty much no flaws on that wheel. Other than being 35 years old, almost. All right, here's another angle of the hood. Kind of come around here, but you can see, I don't see, now when we get it detailed, I'll do a second video, and then, you know, there may be something pop up, but right now it looks good. So let's take a look at the interior next. All right, we got the door open here. Here's a little initial bird shot view of the interior. Love that red velour. It's so comfortable, so sweet. Here's the door panel. One thing I want to show you though, so I just opened this door, but this is kind of interesting. Listen to this. It just closes so solid. And it's got 13,000 miles on it, so this door's hardly been opened or closed. But so that's what you expect, but just kind of verifying and validating that, you know, that this is a legit 13,000 mile car. I mean, we've got the Carfax and everything, but still just kind of really showing you. But I mean, if you look at all the little things that you look at, zero wear on, you know, your entry and exits are where you're always going to have your wear. But, you know, other than just needing cleaned up, this car has no wear on it. Even your threshold, the moldings, and the seals. I'm gonna go slow here so you can really see this. You know, there's no damage. And then this car smells awesome too. It literally has that 1980 showroom smell. There's the door jambs. You can kind of see the cobwebs and the dust and all of that. And this, when I bought it, it actually still had the little plastic guide. You know, it's to make it quiet. There's a little plastic. It was surrounded in plastic. And, but anyway, a couple times when I opened the door, it actually broke and fell because it was old and plastic and it's an impact point, but the plastic was still there when I bought the car. I just thought that was kind of really, really cool. So we'll go ahead and I'm gonna show you the seat here. Again, other than just a little bit dirty, this seat is pristine. I'm gonna give you an overview and then we'll get in tight on it. Look at the piping right here. You know, this is your wear area and there is zero wear. Even, I mean, see how you got your ribs in your velour? Most of the time these will see the little deep line in there. Well, this will be worn smooth, so you'll actually have a flat, smooth spot. But if you'll look there, there is no wear on that bolster. again, you know, validating everything. Here's our floor mat, kind of sliding around there. So like I said, I mean, this is the condition, you know, dust and dirt. This is the condition that we got the car. And then if you look under the floor mat here, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the floor mat out. And we will show you here the heel pad is perfect. And then here's a definite indicator right here. Here is your clutch pedal. And you see the ribs in there. It's just like a tire or your tennis shoe or anything like that, right? As you push on that, you know, it wears. So there's a good indicator, but you can see that there is virtually no wear on the clutch pedal, and the clutch gets used the most, obviously. And then your brake pedal again, pristine, and the throttle pedal. And you look here, no heel wear, no wear at all in the carpet. This interior is pretty much gonna clean up to be probably a 10 out of 10 on this interior. Just leave the mat out here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and climb in. Okay, so we're in the car here, and we're gonna give you really good shots of the dash here. This is actually kind of the closest I've actually inspected the car, to be honest with you. So I'm kind of seeing some of this under this much scrutiny for the first time myself. But you can see that dash, other than a little bit of dust, she is pristine. And the binnacle is perfect. And here's more wear items here. Your headlight switch, 0 wear. Go ahead and get inside the cluster here. Got the Ford Motorsport call out. And you can see the dials and the colors and the needles, everything are the colors all bright and brilliant and pristine. We're gonna back up here. I'm gonna show you the steering wheel. And there is no wear on the steering wheel. Go ahead and go all the way around it for you there. You can see that. No wear on the steering wheel. Kind of zoom in here on the buttons. Cruise control. Get the right angles here. You know, these are always wore off. Ford. That is perfect. Coming down here, our temperature control is more the same. The AC, like I said, is ice cold. Everything works. Now, he did put a aftermarket radio in it back in the day when CDs came out in the 80s. You had to get a CD player. So I do have the original cassette tape deck in the hatch area. And let's look at our shifter here. Again, you see the little texture to it that, you know, would normally be worn off after, I don't know, 30, 40,000 miles. But other than needing a little bit of cleaning, it is all perfect. And then I just love the color, this dark red, this deep red. Looks so good in here. We'll show you the other side. Like, even look how perfect those little dials are in the white, and the vents. Super nice. Even the mirror is in perfect condition, no issues with that. I love the little map light. These are so cool. Just flick it, it works. And you can rotate it, do what you want to with it, clip it back in. Here's our visors. And I'll show you the sunroof in a little more detail, but they are immaculate. Little Velcro, little light there. Be gentle with these old cars though. It's in perfect condition, but it's still old. And here is our passenger side. Yeah, and everything just gotta take a little extra time with these old cars. Just treat them with care, and they will reward you with fantastic nostalgic experience. Go ahead and show you the center console here. Again, dirty, but pull it out there. Hey, it looks like Mark wasn't a smoker either. The car smells brand new. But as you can see there, ashtray Lighter's never been used. There's our mirror switch. Even the plastic around the seat belts is still good. This always cracks and just falls apart, which, I mean, is normal. I mean, if it, you know, there's where you're gonna find a flaw if you are, because as this folds over, that plastic gets flexed and stressed. But no such issues here. Here is our center armrest. Go ahead and open that for you. I don't even know what's in here. Guess we're fixing to find out. Nope, cassette holders. Perfect shape. We'll go ahead and lift that up. I think it lifts up. Well, I don't want to force anything, but you can see down in there. All right, let's go switch around over to the other side. All right, we got the passenger side opened up. And get here on the door panel. And once again, zero wear, zero flaws, zero imperfections. I'll show you the door jambs here. And underneath the doors. I'll get that other door too. I didn't just now thought about that. Here's our tag here. Kind of showing you. And you can kind of see right here. Look at this. Factory, no tape lines, no paint. The original honest cars really are pretty easy to spot and determine when you experience and you know what you're looking for. But that's why I'm here to, not everybody understands that or knows what to look for, so that's why we do what we do. To give you the full, honest tour and overview. There's the seat. And show you the close-up of where you would have wear. And there is no wear. Even the seat belts are perfect. Let me show you, here's the passenger floor mat. And underneath of that, I'll go ahead and pull it out here for you to give you a full view of the carpet. So nothing gets lost or hidden. And here's kind of another angle of the dash from the passenger side. And the center console. And I'm going to open the glove box here. So here is the radio face and some of the original tags and such. Oh, graffiti night. Cool stuff in here. Little stickers. I wonder if that's where he worked. I wonder if he worked at that Ford dealership. Get into more detail about the owner in that video. Leave that separate. All right, I don't think I showed you the back seat. So let's go ahead and flip the seat forward. And I'll go ahead and lift the carpet up. Perfect on the carpets. I'm guessing these are probably the original mats. I'm not sure. I think it's probably an old aftermarket mat. But hitting some cobwebs in here. But it is perfect here. So we'll go across the top of the seat. Kind of come down and show you the bottom of the seat. Tranny tunnel. There's your back. Let's go ahead and there's, oh, a little ashtray. Oops, missed it. There's a little ashtray right there. And go ahead and pull up this carpet here. And you can see that it is perfect. And looking at the interior rear quarter trims, perfect. Little hole right there. I'm guessing that's probably a clothing hook. Yeah, I'm sure that's clothing hook. They're both missing for some reason. Not sure why. Well, I guess there's the 0.1 deduction for the interior. Now let's show you the headliner here. And most of all these are gonna be sagging. I mean, look at that crisp crease. Look at that, just kind of going along there, showing you, coming back, give you the full view. The lighting kind of messes with the camera a little bit. You see how it has that crisp crease, factory, you know, molded headliner, dome light. There are no flaws in the headliner. So let's go ahead and pop the trunk and we'll look in there. Actually, I popped it already. And here's the back sides of the seats. Nobody had their feet up on it. Before I forget, I want to show you the back side of the seat over here in the bottom of the door. And also another view of the interior. Back side of the seat. Perfect. And the underside of the door. I wanted to do this video this way because I know that people are gonna say, you know, that's not a 13,000 mile car. And, you know, people love to try to argue, you know, professionals behind a keyboard looking at pictures, you know, and they can tell everything from a picture. I wish I could tell that much from a picture. But, so, you know, kind of showing an original, because like I said, even though the car's only got 13,000 miles, it's from 1988. And, you know, so there are some flaws, but I'm explaining what's here, why it's here, to put the story together for you, to just, you know, to show you the accuracy of the car. So let's go ahead and open the hatch here. Even the hatch struts are good. You can see, and I'll go ahead and look along the bottom side of the hatch. You know, sometimes these rust up in here. No, not even a bubble, nothing. I mean, he never took the car out. I mean, when he did, he only took it out in. So I'll just go ahead and show you all around the jams back here. Only took it out in nice weather. I spent some time with this gentleman. I mean, this isn't hearsay. I talked to the person that's owned this car since October of 1988. And he was a very genuine guy, missing a little body plug there. Simple enough. Here's our latch for the rear. Continue to kind of go on down here. Here's a little VIN sticker coming down. I cannot wait to see this car get cleaned up. I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna do some of the cleaning myself. I really kind of enjoy that. I'm a good cleaner. I'm not a good detailer, but I'm a good wash boy. So here's a bird's eye of the view. So here is all of our, he just collected stuff from the, you know, from the day when he bought me. He was just a super proud, you know, owner of the car. So he kind of collected stuff here. 1990, so he's got just the various years. 91, 92, just some stuff that he collected there. This will all come with the car. So here is the original window sticker. So I'll kind of pause on that so you can pause and zoom in and freeze frame. This car pretty much had every option, but you know, no automatic transmission, which is obviously a good thing, and no sunroof, which is a good thing. Sunroofs are heavier and they just leak, and you know, as many of you know if you follow my videos, I like non-sunroof cars. And here's the original radio. Check this out. Here it's upside down, but you know, look at the buttons. Look at that. And I'm going to reinstall this regular radio. And one thing that was, you know, he made a note of telling me also, he's like, I didn't cut any wires, you know, I used an adapter. I love the ticker tape. Idiot Mustang, if that isn't old school. But anyway, he was like, you know, he wanted to make sure that, you know, he knew that I didn't cut up the harness of the car. I mean, he cared about the car. He did not want to cut it up. So I'm going to go ahead and lift these out of here to show you the carpet. All right. So you can see that the trunk carpet is perfect. One thing that you will note is on the very top edge of the seats, just a tiny, tiny bit of fading. And you know, and that's pretty much the only flaw he told me about the car was the sun. And I expected it to be much worse, but he was really pointing that out. And I was like, oh geez, that looks really, really good to me. And then here's our cover back up there. Looks like it's never even been used. So that all works. And then the backs of the seats. Fantastic. All right, let's take a look under the hood. All right, we got the hood open for y'all. You can see, and here's the underneath of the hood. Hood pad is still even really nice. I'll be very careful cleaning that. You know, you gotta be careful when you get those wet, they don't come apart on you. But underneath the hood is just nice. It looks like, showed a K&N air filter, little sticker there. Not sure what that JBA Performance is. I have to ask him about that. I'm still in contact with the gentleman. So you can see some dust. This will be fun to clean this engine bay. Looks like we got a tiny bit of valve cover seepage right there. But we will clean this guy up and make it look nice, but just pretty much, you know, unmolested. Bone stock 5.0 Mustang. We'll send it to the wizard here once we get it detailed and everything, and we'll do some new belts and have him inspect it, maybe do valve cover gaskets, looks like plugs and wires, you know, it's all motorcraft stuff. Looks nice, but I mean, it runs perfect. So, I mean, I don't know if we really need to change it. I mean, I suppose it would be nice just to have some fresh stuff on such an amazing car. So here is along the front, the radiator support. And then looking here, so then you can kind of see inside this fender here. And I took pictures of this too, but you can see there's no damage in there. Let's see if we can get in there. But you can see how that is original there. Let me touch on this focus and see if it'll do it. Hey, there we go. So what you can see, what they did was there was a little bit of a dent there, and so they kind of worked on that a little bit, because here's the original over here, so you can kind of see the difference between the two. So there was a little bit of damage right here in this fender. Looks like they probably pulled the fender off, repaired it, put it back on, repainted it, and got you going there. Belt's pretty old there. Might even put a new idler on it, just freshen it up. But it'll be fun to clean this guy up. Little dust in there. So actually, I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up just as she's sitting here. I'd like you to go ahead and hear this thing. And then we'll go take it for a drive, but go ahead and fire it up for you. Neutral there. Okay, and this is, I haven't done anything to this car other than fill it up with gas. Here we go. And you can see temperature is dead cold, so this is a cold start. I mean, I pulled it to move it here, but dead cold. Here's the exhaust. Zero smoke out of the car. Has a great sound to it. You hear it idle down there. I'll turn the AC off. You hear the compressor just kick in right now. Go ahead and turn the air off. Go underneath the hood. Absolutely perfect and quiet, like it's 1988. Let's go ahead and jump in and take it for a spin. All right, before we take it for a spin though, I did promise you an underbody shot, and we will put this up on the lift and everything too in the next video after the recon. But so I just kind of want to show you what we're looking at right now.
Look at that. Absolutely perfect. It looks like I think he put a Flowmaster muffler on maybe. Let's see if I can see when we get back here. But look at that, that's how it should look right there. That is phenomenal. There's our mufflers. So you can see right there, he's done a catback exhaust system on it. Pretty cool stuff. Kind of cool too, because it's period in the day stuff. Love those pipes. Super cool. There's a good picture underneath the bumper. And again, stainless, looks like stainless steel there. Looks like he replaced the rear cover with something kind of shiny. Yeah, even the brake lines are perfect. Sometimes they get a little surface rust on them, and that's just normal. I mean, untreated metal exposed. And there is our underbody tour. Like I said, part 2, we'll have it up on the lift and give you a real tight look at it. So let's fire this thing up and take it for a drive. Yes. All right, we're strapped into the Mustang, kind of putting the camera behind a little bit because I want you to kind of see the car more than more than my ugly mug. Let's fire this guy up. There we go. Hit the aftermarket. I'm gonna turn the air on just low here so we don't hear too much. Let's go ahead and roll on out here. Thing is absolutely tight. Beautiful evening here. About 8 o'clock here, the sun's just kind of going down. Kind of the perfect time to take a cruise. I'll talk about the car a little bit and kind of go over some of the car and let it warm up a little bit before I give it too many beans. So, man, like I said, the AC is ice cold. Driving this car, like the shifter is just literally like, just snick, snick, snick. I mean, it's just, there's nowhere to the bushings, nowhere to the linkage, anything like that. It just drives perfect. The brakes, the clutch, I mean, 13,000 miles. So suspension, I guess from a driving standpoint, is all I could really say is new tires and, you know, belts, inspect the hoses, maybe plugs and cap and rotor. Love that rumble of the 5.0. This has such a good sound to it. I really like the exhaust on here too. I mean, it's just a perfect amount of throatiness. It's not loud. Here we go. I didn't wrap it up too high. Wrapped it up about $5,000, I think. I got temperature, you know, normal operating temperature now, but I still like let it get warmed up, let the oil get nice and warm. So here is 5th gear, cruise control set. 55 mile an hour. Just easy peasy. fun. They're lightweight. I mean, the Fox body chassis, I mean, think about how long that kept this car going. So obviously that was a good chassis. I mean, if you've watched any of the Outlaws and all the drag racing and stuff, you'll know that the Fox body chassis have done some amazing things. Here we go. How fun is that? It's just such a wonderful car to drive. It's just so simple. It's lightweight. It's responsive. It's stiff. Awesome. It really takes you back. My very first car was a Fox body, the 79 Capri RS turbo, or not a turbo, just a plain Jane RS. Little four banger. Didn't have the, I mean, I wanted the Mustang V8, obviously, but my milking the cows, poor boy's budget, allowed me a 140 mile an hour four banger Capri RS. Hey, I loved it. I made the most of it. I've actually got an RS turbo now. Here we go. Roll out. And now it's just rolling on the throttle. Wow. You can see why if you do some mods to these cars, I mean, how freaking epic they are. And it's just so much fun, you know, because I mean, it's not a super fast car, you know, but that's actually the fun of it, you know, because it's lightweight, it's simple, and you can just, it feels fast. Sorry. You know, it's just, you can have fun at legal speeds and just enjoy and have a lot of fun. Here we go, my little corner. Stoplight. I'm having fun. I gotta be. Original owner is probably gonna see this and go, "Hey, wait a minute! What are you doing to my car?" Hey, 5.0 Fox body. You gotta get on it a little bit. Such a nice revving motor, though. Absolutely love it. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys riding along with us on this epic drive of this epic car. Like and subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate that. Look us up, EuroAsianAuto.com, to look at our website and see all the cars that we've got listed. I think we've got over 35 cars on the website. And like and subscribe, and be sure to leave a comment in there. Let me know what you think about the Fox body. And also hit the notifications button. When you hit the notifications button every time we upload a video, it'll give you a notification, obviously, and then you'll be able to see the car as it first hits YouTube, because you never know when we might have your next dream car. Have a great day and happy motoring.